I'm Julie from Unskrewd Studio. We're here today to talk with Paul Damiano about his piece Haba.
Yep.
We are so happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me here.
And today we would like to know a few of the juicy details behind the scenes.
Yeah.
This is Unskrewd Uncovered, Haba. So my first question is, what does Haba actually mean?
The full saying goes like Haba hujaza kibaba. It's a Swahili saying. The meaning behind it is small steps are useful or helpful to get further. If I was to simplify it, is one step at a time. I took it personally to me. What does this mean to me right now where I'm at in life? And how can I bring this out to the people so that they understand what I'm doing and the process that I'm going through? Because it also was a step-by-step process for me. And I had to reconnect to where I started, and then I had to add to the next step and the next step. And yes, this is how the piece came about, and also with the help of other people like Vivian.
So who is she?
Vivian Zwijler is an artist, and she's also a friend, and she helped through this process in the creative and pedagogical way. And we have Waidera Shraik, we have Eddie Ali, who was producing the music. Waidera was helping with stage choreography and performance and the movement behind what I was doing on stage. There was Katharina Richter, who helped also with the formal side of writing the applications and also just overseeing the whole project.
It takes many ideas, it takes many eyes to create all of that, right?
Yes. And
So
they
you
were part of the step-by-step
Great.
making.
I wanted to actually get to those steps because I was wondering into what phases of your life are you bringing us with that piece?
The phase of my life that this piece brings about is probably like two in one. First, it's a revisitation of my childhood memories. And second is what it means to me right now. So it's kind of a duality. It's me here right now, but being inspired from the early childhood moments. So the time that I was playing on the ground, the time that I was playing with marbles, we would play with marbles all the time. We would draw on the ground, we would play with each other, we would run around, and all this playfulness inspires me up to date.
And what has changed for you since you have created Haba?
What has changed with time is the piece was produced 2 years ago, 2023. It's gone through a different process of development in terms of music, in terms of movement, in terms of how I deliver it on stage. In the beginning, to start with, I had really doubts when I was producing this piece because it was my very, very first time to do this. I never did a theater piece before. So thanks to everyone out there who really helped me to put this together. And I was not in a place where I was sure that I can really deliver this. I really doubted myself. I really doubted what I was doing on stage. So to be able to look at this 2 years ago and see that I actually did it and I performed it in different places, of course, it has changed and it gives me even more confidence to share some more, to change the music. We've also changed the structure of the music a lot with the producer, Eddie Ali, and I think it keeps developing. There's some things I would like to bring back maybe. There's some things I would like to remove from the piece.
Do you have an example?
Yes, for example, there was something that I practiced before that didn't make it to the piece. I'm not sure I'm gonna bring it back, but I had a ball on stage also. And I also had a couple of more childhood games that I was displaying. They were beautiful, but also we had to reduce and see what was more getting to the point. So this is an example of some of the things that have changed through the piece.
Yeah, kill your darlings, they say, right?
Yes. For another one, maybe we bring this to another show.
But I love that because it gives, it adds an extra perspective, because that is exactly also what you talk about in the piece, right? This development from a certain place in time, and then with practice, with experiences, you become someone else, but you always bring with you all of what has happened before.
Yes.
So it's really courageous and it's really great. So you have presented it now a few times, and I wanted to ask if your feelings and your perception has changed towards it.
Yes, my feelings towards it have changed. Have become more expressive, I would say. I've become more aware of what I'm doing on stage, and also my life here has changed because I'm living now in Germany for 3 years. And before I was new to the theater world or performing alone on stage. So my feeling towards it before was different. I had a little bit of angst when I was starting, but now I start to embrace it and be able to translate this to the creative process that I do. It makes me also appreciate the journey that it's actually been a step-by-step journey. And some steps you take and you fall, some steps you take and you progress. So yes, my feelings have definitely varied with time. What brought me most joys while creating and performing it was, one, I'm alone on stage, but considering the people that I've mentioned before who have helped to bring this out and who've helped with the creative process make me feel that I'm not alone on stage. And the voices that are in the piece that Eri Ali put inside, we have some voice messages from my family members, from my sister, from my nieces and nephews, from my siblings. And to hear this on stage while I perform makes me feel like I'm dancing not alone, but I already have an audience, even when I'm alone on stage. Children was singing.
What is that song they were singing?
Camares. It's a childhood song. Camares, Camares, ewa. And it's a very playful song where it invites a child to come into the circle. So they form a circle and the child is supposed to come into the circle and present themselves. And as they do this, they do it with confidence and cheerfulness, and the others around them are cheering the person. Yes, and this is how I felt on stage. I felt like people were cheering me even though they were not there physically.
One last thing that nobody knows.
One last thing that people don't know about the piece. Producing pieces is not easy because it plays around with your emotions. You have to be very vulnerable. You have to be very open to receive and also to let go of some things. I have shed tears. For example, one of the things that people don't know is the first time I rehearsed it was in my living room. I didn't have a theater space or a studio space where I could rehearse this. And it was a little bit frustrating because already you're dancing in your living room. You just want to chill. You don't want to dance. So this process of creation was a big challenge for me. It wasn't as easy, and yes, to be able to do this, I didn't do this alone again. To be able to perform this on stage with the confidence that it brings or with the joy that it brings is also a delight to me, because this is something that the creative process, people don't see this.
What is your favorite performance you have done so far?
My favorite performance I've done so far is the Dortmund Goes Black Festival. I think I love the stage. First, because when I was starting the piece, people, the entryway to the stage, to the theater was through the stage. And I don't think people were aware of it, that they would enter stepping onto the stage, and I was already on the ground drawing and people were walking on the stage, and it felt, I never did it before, and it was not even rehearsed like this. But it was a very spontaneous situation and happening.
It's an unusual setting to be submersed in the in the play,
yes,
the piece, right? Because
it was both surprising to me and the audience. Because as I entered, they would pass me by and they would see what I'm doing. And I was expecting them to come from the other side, but they came from behind me, so it was a nice surprise. But everything turned out well. This was one of my favorite performances. Maybe they invite us again to the stage.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
Now with the big orchestra.
Yes. Wow. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I look forward to develop this piece, probably because it keeps changing, maybe with live music, maybe
what
with a choir. What
instruments are you seeing? Oh, with a choir.
That would be amazing. What instruments am I seeing in case we would do it live? I think with a band, so a lot of drums, a lot of bass guitar, and my favorite music of all, a violin.
A violin?
Yes. This would be amazing. Yeah.
So let's do that.
Let's do that. Why not? I'm open for it.
So where can people catch you next time?
Where people can catch me next time is one at the 100 Pro Festival. It's going to be at Ringlockschuppen.
In Mülheim an der Ruhr, right?
Mülheim an der Ruhr, exactly.
When
on
is
the
that?
12th of April.
Great.
You're very much welcome. Bring friends and family.
Yeah.
I'm sure your voice has missed before, so you're always welcome to see it again. As we've said, it keeps changing. Who knows what is going to happen.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.